Hey there, it's Martha, and if you're new, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. I was tagged, and I should have done homework, and I did not, but I am like 99.9% sure that this tag was started by Alexis Schluter here on YouTube. I'm sure you all know who Alexis is, and but follow her if you haven't followed her. I believe it was her, and if it wasn't, correct me if there was if it was a co-tagging thing going on, but I want to say it was Alexis that started this. And in early summer, it was like maybe early June, and when I first heard about this tag, the top 10 favorite vendor scents, I was like, oh, I can't even think of, like, that's too hard. I'm like, that's too hard. My brain hurts thinking about that. And then about 4 weeks ago, Chris from Dazzling Scents with Chris, she tagged me, and I was like, okay, all right, I'm up for the challenge. So thank you, Chris, because I was thinking, oh, how am I going to come up with 10? I feel like something was itching me. How am I going to come up with 10? This is so hard. So I had to find a way to dwindle this down to 10. There is a recency bias going on here, you know, kind of top of mind scents. Yeah, I have a spreadsheet too, and I have a spreadsheet where I heart things, I thumb up things, I thumb down things, and I have that little green emoticon, you know, that it looks like he's sick. That's how I rate my wax. And so I'm like, all right, I'll start looking through my hearts and see what I've got. But the problem is I don't buy backups very often. I use it, I love it, and then pray for the best, right? Pray that it'll come back, that the vendor will bring it back, and that's it. I just don't want to have a lot of backups. There are some rare moments where I do have backups because I've used more than half of the scent, and then a pre-order came up and they were offering it. So there's only probably a handful of scents that I actually have 2 of. Everything else I've purchased because I want to try it and decide whether I would buy it again or not. That's how I got myself into this trouble. And I shouldn't say trouble, but that's how I ended up with so much wax. It's me wanting to get a feel for what scents I like and what I don't. So I had to go in my room and I'm like, okay, top of mind, because obviously the spreadsheet thing is not working, because I want this to be a show and tell, not me to just talk about something I don't have. And she's like, yes, it was my favorite, but I don't have it. So that's how I came to this 10. I had to have it on hand, and I then excluded things like coffee. I love coffee scents, but I only like coffee scents for a few hours. So I'm like, okay, no coffee, even though, you know, I like Fire Mario from Rose Girls and things like that. But this was hard. What I'm saying is this was hard, and it could change on any given day, probably. So if you're interested in hearing what I chose for my top 10, stick around. Okay, so I told my friends that this is a re-recording, by the way. I recorded this video last night, and it was great. I thought it was probably even better than this one. But as I was recording, I see, or as I'm editing, right? Because when I edit, I watch the whole thing, make sure the sound's good, get the timestamps. It's a timestamp thing. So I have to basically watch the whole video. And I see a little, like, I was wearing gloss, and I see a little gloss right there. And then as I kept talking, it's like moving. It's like moving all over my teeth. It was on one tooth, and then by the end of the video, it's on like both front teeth. And I'm like, I can't have like just, you know, and I know it's me being my own worst critic, you know, me being ultra critical, because if it was anybody else, I wouldn't care. Like, I wouldn't care at all. And I'm sure some of you did say, I wouldn't re-record it, just put it out there, but it's bugging me, and I had the time today. So anyway, sorry for the long intro. You're like, just get to the scents, Martha. Okay. And I love this tag because, one, as I'm not hauling as much, it's a way to basically have content without having to haul. And I think not everyone wants to see haul after haul after haul, especially if we're all trying to do no buys. So even though I was kind of like, ooh, this is too hard to do, I'm thinking, let's do this again for the fall and make them like top 10 fall scents. Or top 10, could be top 10 all kinds of things, right? So anyway, I think I might have more than 10, but in no particular order. No particular order. I'm just going to grab what's on top, and what's on top here is some Rose Girls. So I chose Salem as one of them. This is pumpkin pecan waffles, campfire marshmallows, and vanilla sandalwood. I mean, I could have picked so many others. Like I said, there's cookies. I have like Christmas Eve and Cookie Land, I think I love, but I don't have anymore. So, but I picked Salem because I really do love this scent. I'd received this as a sample, and I saw that she was offering it, and I was like, this was such a good performer for me. And I do love pumpkin pecan waffles. I love pumpkin pecan waffles. I love campfire marshmallows, and I really do enjoy her vanilla sandalwood. I've noticed in a few other loves of mine from Rose Girl that it's got vanilla sandalwood in it. So for that reason, and because fall's my thing, I love fall, I picked Salem, and it's a great performer for me. If you love pumpkin pecan waffles and you want a little bit of that campfire, and then it's so beautiful. I have to smell it. Yeah, this is making me so excited for fall. So excited for all the pumpkin and all the stuff. So that is that. And then the other one I chose, because I feel like this can encompass many, many blends from Rose Girls, is Speechless. And even though I haven't warmed this particular one, I've warmed several of her Speechless blends that I love. Level Up is one of them. It's basically this with blackberry. I'm trying to think of some other ones, but I do love Level Up, but I used it, right? So Speechless, it's bright, it's refreshing. For me, it's a great, I mean, I could use it all year round, but it is more of a spring summer scent to me because of that Satsuma, and it adds this brightness to it. The raindrops is this freshness to it. So it's aquatic, but not ultra aquatic. And then I've never smelled coastal kale on its own, but I think it's like a bonding agent in some ways for both of those, the raindrops and the Satsuma mixed with the coastal kale, that make this magical blend. I will say though, I'll caveat this, that I do not like Rose Girl's Satsuma on its own, or Satsuma not in a Speechless blend. I've had Satsuma in white tea, I think, and I didn't really, that was kind of, I had an odd note to it. So I'm not a fan of her Satsuma, but mixed with raindrops and coastal kale, some kind of magic happens. And it's, like I said, it's bright, it's refreshing. It's good. Her Speechless, so Speechless anything I would get. I have Santa's Speechless, and that's fantastic as well. Yeah, and I'm trying not to open these and sniff too much, because as you can see, I've flattened them. I flattened all of these so that they can fit in my drawer. At the beginning of the year, Rose Girls was the vendor I had the most of, and it fits in one drawer because I flattened them all. So thank you to Lexi from Two Quick Wicks. She mentioned that, and I did that, and so it makes it easier. So if you're watching videos or TV, I did this with a friend while we were talking. We just took all the wax out and kind of, you know, Tetrised it together to make it work. So that is my Rose Girls that I picked. I try to pick vendors that I have a lot of, and that I've maybe repurchased something. So here is from Sassy Girl Aroma. I have 2 scents that I've repurchased and got loaves of. That's another thing. I really don't buy loaves very often. I have been recently, because I think if it's a blend that I just know it might take years to get again, I don't mind getting a loaf, or a vendor I don't buy that often from, and I'm like, just get a loaf and then you're good for a while. Or especially a vendor where the wax I know cures really, really well. So I don't know why every time I'm talking, I feel like I got a burp. So this is the two that I'm going to show you from, two of the three, I guess, that I'm going to show you from Sassy Girl Aroma. I purchased in a loaf. Green Machine. Green Machine came to mind because it's one that I've loved so much in the past. It doesn't look very pretty. I've since this learned how to chop perlows by using a microwave trick, but Green Machine is when I realized I love pistachio, her pistachio in particular. I loved this kind of bakery pistachio type of scent. Let me get this out, my glasses, so I can read the notes. But yeah, I unfortunately I miss Sassy Girl Aroma. I know she's rebuilding and trying to come back after you know, her business caught on fire, which was just horrible. Can you believe that was this year? So I've definitely missed her. I haven't warmed too much, and I feel like maybe I should do a Sassy Girl Aroma month. But this is pistachio, sugar cookies, zucchini, and marshmallow. Green Machine. I love so many of her scents with pistachio, and I haven't smelled this in months. I just saw it and I'm like, oh, I have to put that in there. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Why am I not warming this? Yes. Green Machine. It's a pistachio that has, it is a little cherry leaning. You know, it's cherry and pistachio and sometimes almond kind of have this, I don't know. They're like cousins or something. There's some commonality amongst them, but Green Machine. And I'm glad I re-recorded this video because I would have forgotten this. So, you know, sometimes things are meant to be that way. And if I have lipstick on my teeth again, who cares? I'm not doing it again. But this is Fall Yoga Pants by the Fire. So this is another one. This is Pumpkin Pecan Waffle, Cider Lane, and Marshmallow Fireside. Fall Yoga Pants by the Fire. So this is a scent from Sassy Girl Aroma that I'd heard so much about, and I picked it up in a brittle, and I picked it up in a loaf, I think, because they were only offering in a loaf, and then I got it again. So this is definitely a repurchase. This is one where when I first got it, I smelled it and I thought, this is nice. You know, I get that cider, I get the little bit of apple cider in there. And so I do get those fall scents. Ooh, so good. It is really good. But then on warm, it goes to a whole other level. On warm, this becomes even more beautiful. Like on cold, you can be like, all right, I don't understand the hype maybe, but it smells nice. On warm, it's just comes alive. It's a great performer for me. A beautiful scent. I do get a lot of that Cider Lane, but I also get the Pumpkin Pecan Waffle. So again, I do like that scent a lot. And as I'm starting to see fall pre-orders, I'm getting in the mood for this. It's so weird. It's going to be a hard next few months because there's a lot of spring summer wax that I still have, and I want to keep using that before I dive into fall. But then I smell stuff like this and I'm like, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. So Fall Yoga Pants by the Fire from Sassy Girl Aroma. So what is that, 4? Okay. Then here's one that I'm glad I at least have the bag to show you, because that was kind of my criteria. I had to have something to show you in this video. And this is from Second and Spruce. This is the best nap ever. I just talked about this in my What I've Been Warming video, you know, from earlier this week. This is Sweet Lavender, Palo Santo, Pink Sugar, Cookie Bomb, Lemon Drop Cookies. Best nap ever, and like best lavender ever. I love this sweet lavender bakery scent. You have a touch of that lemon. It's a great performer. I love Second and Spruce. I mean, overall, you know, I know someone else said you should make a video of like the attributes of each vendor and why you like it and how it performs for you. And that's a great video suggestion too, so I may do that. But her wax just really throws. You know, and I'm going to make generalizations, right? Every once in a while, you're going to get a lighter one. But for the most part, I know that it's going to work for me, works in my home. And this is such a calming, beautiful scent. I love bakery, and it has that bakery and sweetness to it. Fantastic. I want more. I want more because this is it. This is all I got. But best nap ever from Second and Spruce. And again, I probably would have had maybe another Second and Spruce item in here in this top 10, but I've been using it all. So that's how I had to narrow things down. Okay. So we're on 5. All right. So from Lavender and Speckles, I was torn. I was torn. And I still am going to do an honorable mention here. I know I'm cheating, but it's my channel and I can do that. So it was either going to be highlight a pine cone scent or a Palo Santo scent. I decided on Palo Santo, but when Beth offers pine cone scents, I'm going to love it and I'm probably going to order it. I think my roadshow order the last haul, my roadshow order had a lot of pine cone blends, but I chose Palo and Tons of Vanilla. This is Palo Santo and Tons of Vanilla Bakery, vanilla crunch cake, vanilla buttercream, and a hint of cinnamon and spiced vanilla. And I chose this because, one, I really love this scent. I ended up getting a big bag, and I'm so glad that I got a big bag of it because it's a fantastic performer. I wore this earlier in the year, like when it was still a little bit of kind of winterish, cooler weather. But her Palo Santo is beautiful. It really is beautiful. I think most of what I've gotten from Beth has Palo Santo or roasted pine cones in it. This has that extra lots of vanilla. It's got some spice, which I love. So it's got this little bit of cinnamon and some spice. And lots of vanilla, as the name says, but then that beautiful Palo Santo. It is creamy. It's almost, it's not bakery-ish. It just works so well with her bakery blends. Yeah, Palo and Tons of Vanilla from Lavender and Speckles. This is also a great performer, and her Palo Santo blends tend to do very well for me. So Palo and Tons of Vanilla from Lavender and Speckles. Okay. Oh, I was trying to do this in order by vendor and I forgot about this other one from Sassy Girl. This is Adam's Beach Party. This is strawberry pound cake, toasted marshmallow, sea salt breeze, and s'mores. So it's basically her beach nights with strawberry pound cake. It's a fantastic scent. I love the scent, and I have another brittle of this. So this is another one where I have a backup of it because I was almost, I'm halfway out and I thought I would end up using this more. And then she was offering it in one of the last pre-orders I got. I'm mumbling today. Okay. What can I say? Her beach nights is beautiful. If I had Montego Bay on hand, pretty sure it's Montego Bay. If I had Montego Bay on hand, I probably would have picked that one just over Adam's Beach Party, and that's because I love blackberry. I love blackberry more than strawberry pound cake, I think, but I love this one as well. So, it would have been like, for it, a tight race between the two, but I don't have Montego Bay on hand. I used it up, but it's kind of the same thing. Instead of strawberry pound cake and beach nights, it's blackberry and beach nights. But her beach nights is beautiful. This is a fantastic scent. Sassy Girl performs for me really, really well consistently. And so, yeah, so I'm putting Adam's Beach Party in here. I think I have way too much. I know I have way too much. We're at, whoa, wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're at 8. Honeybee from Teddy Bees. Now, the reason there isn't more Teddy Bees, I think, in my top 10, or at least one more, well, 10 isn't a lot, but because I haven't warmed a ton yet. I've been curing it and saving it, and it's coming. It's coming. This year, this winter, I will be warming a lot of what I got last year. But Honeybee, I have tried, I've melted, and I love. Not only is it a really great performer, it's a fantastic performer. It's got throw, it's got longevity, but it is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. This is scent notes of, I have to put it over here. I know there's like honey nectar, sugar cane, or sugar cookie, sweet sugar cookies, honey nectar, sweet vanilla, and beach treats. So this one was poured February of last year, I got a loaf. I think this was the loaf that I split with my friends. And then I got a tub of it as well because I loved it so much. So I don't know what more to say. I think this was on Chris's list too. I think I've seen this on a few top 10 and for a very good reason. Very good reason. So this is currently in my July melting basket. I still have a lot to melt, so I'll try to get to it, but I'm also kind of hoarding it a little bit because it's a little harder to come by. Tiffany, who's the owner of Teddy Bees, has so, I mean, her list is amazing and there's so many and she can't bring them all out every time she does a pre-order. So I'm hoping that this comes back because I will, or maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't be hoping when I'm trying to do a low buy, but this is fantastic. So Honeybee, I would absolutely get some more if it's in the pre-order. Okay, so that was, why do I keep losing count here? There's 6. 8. All right, and then Knowles Farm Scents. So I have 2 from Knowles Farm Scents. I mean, again, recency bias. I've been talking about it a lot. I love his strawberry pound cake. I feel like he makes, in my opinion, the best strawberry pound cake. It's strawberry, vanilla pound cake, and butter. That is what's in his strawberry pound cake, and it is so good. And thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much for sending me more. And I also picked this because it's pretty much anything with his strawberry pound cake I'm gonna love. And Chris sent me Calm Down Jamal, Cheat Day, strawberry pound cake, and it's all got strawberry pound cake in it. So I have many of his blends that have strawberry pound cake in it, but I also love it just on its own. Yes, it's fantastic. I don't know what more to say. I feel like I talk about his strawberry pound cake quite a bit. If I do a fall one, I have some other ones. I'm like, oh, I know what I can add in there. And then Beach Evenings. Beach Evenings, I think this makes it 10. I think I'm at 10 now. This is roasted marshmallows, sea salt, ginger blossom, vanilla, and driftwood. Beach Evenings. I chose this because, again, it's another one where if this is in the blend, I'm most likely buying it. You know, I have to kind of pace myself now that I have so much, but his Beach Evenings surprised the heck out of me. I mean, I knew I was going to like it on cold. You can smell it. It smells pretty. When you warm it, the strength of this and the longevity of this, that's what surprised me. Because most of the time, vendors, you know, could go 4 to 8 to 12 hours. I mean, it depends, again, on the oil itself. So I was not expecting this to last 2 days, and I could have kept going. And I didn't I think I just used 2 cubes in my open space. So whatever was going on that day, or temperature, I mean, there's all kinds of things that, you know, might affect throw and performance, but I didn't go nose flying to it. I was going in and out over 2 days, and I'm like, I can still smell it. It's fantastic. So I have also purchased many scents with Beach Evenings, which is his version of Beach Nights. Like, I think it's called Midnight Rain. It's blackberries and Beach Evenings, and that is fantastic. I almost picked that one for this, but I think I used it all, and I figured, well, this can kind of cover like all his Beach Evenings blends because they're fantastic. So that was my top 10. Thank you, Chris, for picking me or tagging me. Thank you, Alexis, for coming up with a tag. You know, I did have an honorable mention, but I'm going to save it because it is a fall scent. So I think that is 10. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I know at this point I'm supposed to tag someone, but I also know that there's been a lot of people that have been tagged. I've watched many of these videos, so I am tagging you. If you're watching and you have a channel and you want to do this, you're it. List your channel name or link your video when you do it in the comments below, because I'd love to see it. And yeah, so that's it. So my top 10, it's like, okay, I did it. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. List your top 10 below. If you don't have a channel, I'd love to hear what it is or what some of your favorites, or did we overlap on some? Yeah, I would love to know. So thank you so much. I'll chat with you later. Bye-bye.